Hey everybody, welcome back to the Centaur Fragrance channel. Thank you so much for stopping by today. My name is Benjamin and I do review all things fragrance related and all things fragrance. So thank you so much for stopping by. I am going to be talking about Jeremy Fragrance's Office for Men today. Yes, y'all probably have been wanting to see this review for quite a long time. It's been a while and I finally decided to put my voice out there and share my thoughts and my opinions and my feelings about this fragrance. I feel like it would be more appropriate to share my personal thoughts, more of my opinions about this fragrance later on at the end of the video. So if you want to see more of those, feel free to watch those, but please watch the whole review because I do have some more interesting thoughts to share with you about the entire fragrance. Now, first off, let's start with the smell, just like how I like to do it. Let's talk about the smell of this fragrance. This fragrance is mass appealing. You already knew that. It has a blue quality to it. It does have a shampoo-esque vibe to this fragrance. It's very clean. It borderlines on soapy. One of the things that surprised me, and not a lot of reviewers have talked about, is how floral this fragrance is. It has a freshness to it. It does have a little bit of citrus off the top. Some people say it has a pineapple quality. Perhaps it distantly has almost a starfruit like quality, but it's not overtly fruity in that way. To me, it has a lot more pronounced floral notes than it has citrus. There's jasmine and there's some other paradisone and some other interesting fruity like wood nuances to this fragrance. So interesting fragrance. It's more of a floral, woody musk fragrance to my nose, but it does have very clean, almost soapy qualities, and it does have almost shampoo-like qualities. Now, I know y'all want me to compare this fragrance to other things, and I love to do that, and I'll give you alternatives at the very end of the video. Maybe fragrances that perhaps would be better for your money. But first off, this fragrance does remind me of two things really quickly. It reminds me of Elysium. Elysium is kind of similar to Blue de Chanel with the cedary, woody dry down, and the mass appealing, clean, universal appeal to that fragrance with kind of a pineapple top. It does remind me of Elysium, and it does slightly remind me of Prada Luna Rosa Carbon, which is kind of their own take, a very light, easy to wear, mass appealing take on Dior Sauvage. So it does remind me of those things. But overall, very easygoing, very easy to appreciate fragrance. If you're a big niche head, if you're a big niche snob, or if you have an experienced nose, especially if you smell this fragrance close to the skin, especially when you first spray the fragrance, those notes really are going to smell a little bit chaotic. And for some people, that's not a big deal. You let this fragrance sit on your skin for 5 minutes or less, and the fragrance does tend to mild down and blend a little bit better. But for the first couple minutes, it is going to be a little bit of a chaotic fragrance on the skin. There's a lot of, again, aroma chemicals and things going into this fragrance that really is interesting because it has so much going on, but it's just a very universal, smooth, easygoing fragrance, and it does have some interesting woody musk to the fragrance. So I'm not hyping this fragrance. Again, please stay tuned for my final thoughts. Longevity wise, this is a very interesting fragrance as well. After 4 hours or so, I can't smell this fragrance anymore. To me, it might as well it be a complete skin scent or be completely gone because I can't smell it anymore at all. Maybe I go nosmic, or maybe, that nose blind where I can't smell it anymore, or maybe it just becomes a part of my natural skin. It smells more of a natural musk. This fragrance is very light and transparent and almost does have a eccentric molecule type effect where it kind of blends and becomes a natural part of your own skin because again it's mostly aroma chemicals in this fragrance what you're getting. So overall, of course, the performance is going to be great. You're going to get this fragrance is going to seem very close to the skin overall, but it's going to be sheer. It's really going to project, and it's really going to kind of cut through other smells and be noticeable, but it's not full-bodied. It's not going to be a very assertive, bold, large fragrance with depth, that kind of thing. It's going to be more of a transparent fragrance and a really fresh fragrance. So it does have quite good performance, and people really are able to notice it. And it is more of a fragrance that, again, is light and sheer and almost transparent of a fragrance. Really quite kind of a musk-like fragrance overall. So again, about 4 hours, it's noticeable on my skin. People are able to notice this fragrance for about 6 or 7 hours. So a total longevity of this fragrance on me, it's not beast mode like some people say. Some people have said that this lasts on them for 9, 10 hours. It lasts on them forever. On my skin, this is really a 7 hour fragrance. Especially if I spray it on clothes, it'll probably be a 7 to 9 hour fragrance. But it's not a bad performer. That'll get you through a work day. That'll get you through a whole day's wearing. You won't really have to reapply this fragrance if that's what you're considering. If that's something that's important to you. So I've talked about, of course, the smell and longevity. Let's talk about the compliment factor now. Again, with Jeremy's campaigns, he's a very charismatic, a very charming guy. A lot of people don't like to admit it in the fragrance community, but Jeremy, if you're ever watching my content, if you have any idea, who I am, besides that one time you went after my channel and talked about, why you shouldn't wear what you love. You're pretty much a model of a guy. And I'm not saying that your fragrance is bad, but I'm saying that when you go on the street, a lot of ladies are, touching their hair. They're showing nonverbal signs of attraction. And I think that is a factor with your fragrance. I think you have a good fragrance on your hands. But when you go on the street and when you share your fragrance and you're charismatic, you put ladies on the spot, and you're pretty much a German model, blonde hair, blue eyed, guy who could be in a magazine. The ladies are going to want your fragrance, and they're going to want something else too. So that might be a controversial statement. I'm sorry, but again, this fragrance is mass appealing. Every lady who smelled it liked it. They weren't gaga for it. They weren't crazy about the fragrance. It doesn't have a lot of overtly sweetness. It doesn't smell kind of on the citrusy side of things. It just smells very clean. Now, if you're more in a rural place like I am, if you're more in a place where, more traditional kinds of activities or people are, this fragrance is going to smell more metro. This fragrance is going to smell more asexual than anything, like kind of genderless in a way. Some people might like that in a city. You might find very artistic or creative people who might, more appreciate of subtle, transparent fragrance. But where I'm from, ladies, they appreciate this fragrance, but they aren't crazy about this fragrance. They like, again, I'm going to suggest some fragrances later on, maybe that are alternatives, but there are plenty of other fragrances that cost a lot less that they much prefer on a man. So overall, with the compliment factor, it does a good job. They like it, but they're just not crazy about it. And especially with this Office for Men, I did mention the ladies because a lot of people who are interested in Jeremy's fragrance, in perfumes with his audience are very interested in what ladies think. So there's no doubt that it's going to do a good job, but is it going to sweep somebody off their feet? This is more of an everyday fragrance. Again, that's why he came out for Date for Men, and I haven't tried that one out. But it's nice. But it's not terrible. I wouldn't say that it's a showstopper. Um, with the price, y'all know all about the price. Everybody's talked about it to death. If you pay full price, it's about $180. Sometimes there's a discount code, and I think you can get it to closer to $120. And every once in a while, he'll do a limited buy one get one free. So you have to buy 2 bottles, but each bottle is about $90. So overall, with the value for money, y'all know that $180 for this fragrance isn't probably the best for your money, but I actually have an interesting thought on this. Y'all might thought that I'd rag on the price. I don't think it's a great value for money by any means, or stretch of the imagination. But some brands like Eccentric Molecules are able to charge $200+ for their fragrances. Fragrances that are more transparent, more molecule-like. Even though it's pleasant, this to an experienced nose, this is a synthetic fragrance overall, and I know Office for Men fragrances fanatics, Jeremy fragrance fans might not like me saying that. I'm not ragging, I'm not putting down on the fragrance, I'm not attacking anybody. It's just noticeably that is what, with these aroma chemicals, that you're not, these notes and these chemicals, even though they're good quality, even though he did source them, even though he did get them made by a master perfumer, Alberto Marias. You can't, hide behind him as a shield. Jeremy Fragrance is the creative director, and using that as a crutch, I don't think was a great move. But overall, it is a good fragrance. But again, if you're a niche head, and he has kind of mocked some of the niche community, in his video with Brooklyn Fragrance Lover, he kind of mocked them. So, if you know quality, if you know about quality ingredients, if you know about quality brands, if you care about the history of notes and where they're sourced, where interesting notes come from, where they're sourced, and the ethics and the quality, maybe you like all natural products. This is not your kind of fragrance, especially if you're into indie and all that kind of stuff. This is not going to appeal to you. But my final thoughts on this fragrance is that it's a pretty good fragrance. It's all right. It isn't a great value for money, but I'm not going to say it's the worst thing ever made. It's certainly not. And again, I kind of had a change of heart. At first, I was trying to get the word out that I didn't think that this was a great fragrance. At first, I had a change of heart, and then I had my change of heart, and then I noticed that if there's a market for everything, there's a market for everybody. If somebody does like this fragrance and somebody does feel like this is worth their money, let them be happy. And I'm not going to go out there and try to tell everybody and maybe the world that they shouldn't buy this fragrance. But I certainly am going to put my voice out there that this maybe isn't the best move. With the fragrances, a lot of people complain about clones. A lot of people really dislike clones, and this is pretty much going in that same trend of mass appealing, shower gel-esque clean fragrances that are very mass appealing. Stuff like Bleu de Chanel, things like Dior Sauvage. This is following the same trend. If you're a big fragrance person, I personally, for myself, am kind of disappointed that I'm not saying that he needed to make he is trying to make money. He is trying to make a great fragrance that's mass appealing, attractive to ladies, with great performance. That was his goal. His goal was not to make an interesting fragrance, but for us in the fragrance community, there's a lot of us who would have liked to see something more interesting, some more unique notes, something more creative to the fragrance, even if it was still mass appealing. So my final thoughts, recommendations, again, that maybe you could buy instead of this fragrance. Check out Goldfield and Banks Pacific Rock Moss. That fragrance doesn't have great performance, but it also does smell quite universal, quite easy to wear, very mass appealing. If you want a niche fragrance and if you want to spend that kind of money, check out Pacific Rock Moss. If you're looking for something affordable and offensive, something that could easily be worn to the office, check out Mont Blanc Starwalker. If you're an everyday guy going out and about and you want a no-fuss fragrance that's easy to wear, check out Prada Luda Rosa Carbon. That fragrance is going to do you right and is a no-nonsense, just easy-going fragrance. You can wear it anytime. And if you have the big money, if you want to spend even more money and you want to smell something that's higher quality, it's going to last just as long, and I think it's more noticeable. It has a fuller body to the fragrance. Check out Elysium by, Roja. Check out Elysium. It's mass appealing. If you want to get on a mass appealing train, if you want to talk about mass appealing fragrances, Dior Sauvage, Bleu de Chanel, and Elysium by Roja are really killing the game. They're really doing an amazing job. So I thank y'all so much for being here at this long review. I wanted to put a lot out there. I wanted to say a lot, and I wanted to share a lot about this fragrance with y'all to help y'all understand this fragrance and, say my thoughts. Again, I might have shocked y'all with the review of this fragrance. It does smell a little bit more sweet and a little bit more amber-like than I thought. It does have a little bit of amber quality that I did not expect, and it's not as bad for the price as you might think, but it's certainly not a great value for your money. So if y'all expected a really negative review, I'm not going to do that. That's not what I'm about. And this fragrance isn't that bad, but there are criticisms. Some reviewers have tried to say essentially that there shouldn't be criticisms, or criticisms are, attacking Jeremy personally. Criticisms of a fragrance are not they can be if you're underhanded, but if you're just criticizing or talking about a fragrance, you're not attacking the person individually. If that individual wants to take it personally, Jeremy Fragrance, if you want to take this my review here personally, that's your choice. But I am not attacking you individually. And in the fragrance community, I certainly hope that we don't adopt that love-hate culture that is so primitive, if I dare say so, in my opinion. So thank y'all so much for being here. Thank y'all so much for watching my content. I, of course, am honest and I put my review out there. And again, why I didn't put this review out there immediately, I just didn't want to stir up the pot anymore. I wanted to my content and my channel to be more about artistic fragrances, more about fragrances that save you money, more about fragrances that really are, good, unexplored, unheard of fragrances. I really love those kinds of things. So I didn't want to fill my channel up with drama. I didn't want to, start a kind of a flame war going on in my channel. So that is why I held off for so long. And of course, a very generous reviewer did send this my way. Thank you so much. You know who you are out there, sharing this fragrance and being generous to me. So thank y'all so much for being here. Thank y'all so much for watching my content and enjoying, my content and my reviews. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share this video to support me. I'll see you next time. Wear what you love. And if you love Office for Men, rock it, wear it, enjoy it, and don't care, what anybody else says. Love your fragrance. And I'll see y'all next time. This is the Centaur Fragrance Channel. I'll see ya, and bye.